Welcome back to the Arcopia Show. So today I'm actually feeling pretty optimistic in this crazy world. Um, so I want to talk about being an optimist in, well, these pessimistic times, you could say. But, oh man, since I started, like, coming out, if you will, in the public space a little bit with YouTube, and I'm just nobody still, right? It's just but putting my stuff out there. But obviously, it's getting in front of the right people, like the people that I want to, you know, network with and, give them motivation and people doing the same things as me and sharing ideas between each other. But just, I've been, my first real YouTube video, maybe not even 6 months ago, and now we're at 28,000 subscribers. And through my mentality and what I do, I got to meet Canadian Prepper and do business with him and become friends with him and kind of have fun and do the odd video. Um, I've been messaged from people giving me tips on different equipment. I've met some new neighbors, um, people that one of my neighbors I had no idea, but it's he has the same outlook on medical stuff that happened over the last 2 years as me, and purchased a freeze dryer. Awesome. And asking me questions about home freeze drying and stuff. And same exact page. And that just lit a fire under my butt. Like I was so happy. Like I got a new and then another neighbor, same thing, and they're the exact same mentality. Now these are happen to be older guys. Some of them have like kids that are my age or a little older, and they're kind of on the same page and stuff. And there's some guys my age or like middle-aged guys or whatever. And oh man, it's like somebody's like I'm new to this farming thing, so learning about haying equipment, and I'm asking questions, and people are reaching out and giving me tips on equipment and size of tractors and types of hay binds and things, and showing me how to do things. And I'm learning lots of stuff from people and what works. And but somebody trading me equipment, they saw something in one of my videos, and then they had something else and it was a beneficial trade. um, I've met a few people in public now from the YouTube that recognize me. Hey, you're that YouTube guy and stuff. And yeah, and oh, thanks for sharing the greenhouse or something. And some of them end up being tradespeople or have an idea or connections, and they're good people to know. And like, for how crazy this world is, and it is crazy, and we are going to have some bad times, essentially caused by, like, well, government is what causes it. You need an adult to say no to stupid ideas and free money and or free currency and welfare and things. And like, whatever the government does, it's going to be bad, right? But the amount of people, and it's especially a one-on-one interaction with anybody, it's like, it's good. I can have a conversation with people that approach me, or I can just tell who you can have a conversation with. But people on the same page, people have the same viewpoint on the government, exactly, geopolitics, exactly, like the common sense approach, right? It's oh so I'm getting optimist. There's one of the neighbors was kind of worried, and he wanted some long-term storable emergency food and stuff. So I said, well, like, it's been so busy here, we're just have the smoothies kind of for sale and stuff. And then was just showing him what I'm doing. But I was telling him, like or he was explaining his heritage, how bad things are in other parts of the world, like the whole Europe area and everything, and the farmer protests in the Netherlands and Holland, and how, like things are bad everywhere. And it's and then it got me think. Like I told him, I did our smoothies because we can't grow these fruits and vegetables in Canada in any sort of like I can do a tiny little bit in my greenhouse now, but it's stuff we can't grow here and it's vital for like our essential nutrients and health. So that's why I started with that product. But past that, I told them store, some rice and other things that we can't grow here. And then between the Hutterites and these other neighbors and all these other contacts in our immediate local vicinity, we've got, wheat farmers. I'm getting into hay. A bunch of other guys are like have hay equipment and, all sorts of old equipment that, we're going to be producing animal feed, trading chickens and stuff between each other, like get some new blood in there, or a few other people doing goats I've met. And, hey, do you want to trade male goats and switch the blood around? Yep, let's do it. Or, hey, my goat's having this problem. Do you happen to know? Yep, I do. Hey, my goats are decent for dairy. I haven't got into dairy yet, but like, what's a good setup for dairy? Oh, I'll show you, Dean. Awesome. And anyways, I told him like imported products, like what I did. I thought that was super important. But for the rest of things, I'm an optimist in our local vicinity, like this local little networking thing that just is naturally occurring. Like, I don't know if finally people have been pushed over the edge and are waking up, or they've always kind of been on the same page, but nobody talked about it, or by me coming out in the open, I'm hearing better and better things. But yeah, store the imported products, but we're going to have eggs. We're going to have animal feed. We're going to have hay. We're going to have meat. We're going to have dairy. In the kind of my part of it's going to be like an what's it called, or butcher type shop, just for our small type stuff. So I'm gonna get like some small poultry harvesting processing equipment and things. Plans for my root cellar / walk-in cooler thing area. Well, I'll probably end up doing some racking, or meat hooks and things. But I have, and I haven't done it, but a permanent massive stainless insulated food grade smoker, or I'm going to make this thing into a smoker. All the stuff, I just haven't had time. After my concrete's done, I'm going to like set up this commercial smoker. So if I hunting season take a deer or something, I can literally like take that, harvest it, like a nice, beautiful, clean operation. I kind of know what I'm doing. You can make a whole deer into 50 pounds of jerky in one shot and smoke it all at once you get a recipe down and things. Like, I'm going to have that. Like, a part of the optimism is when you're in the city like I was, and you're not attached to the land anymore like I was. I would imagine if people wake up to the reality, they're probably going to be anxious. And well, this is how it was for me. But when you leave the land, you're still scarcity, right? I got bare land and like, oh, I got to build this, and things are hard and there's no place to store things. And I have to build something before I can do the fun thing like that smoker. First, I have to build the building kind of for it and do the concrete and everything else. And then I can like build my smoker permanently. But as time goes on and I keep just pushing and pushing and working and building, and I get more and more set up and more resilient, I noticed my anxiety goes away and my optimism increases. Again, not for the whole, but turning inwards on yourself. So myself, my family, my community, I get more optimistic. So we got the Hutterite colony. They're all set up. It's all super high tech grid attached stuff. They have no low tech stuff on their colony, so that's could be an issue. But just knowing those guys, like the resources they're able to do, and their internal community that they have, and to be kind of a part of that, an outsider into that, where I provide them value and help, and they do the same for me, or advice or connections. The Hutterites are just a community builder type of thing. They know everyone in the local vicinity. They're kind of business people-ish type of thing as well, but Like if I like I'm looking for a square baler. Oh, I know this guy, this guy has a square baler, and this guy has this, and here's everybody's number. They kind of have the local connections to everything. So if you ever have a question or you're looking for something, they know where it is, right? But and all these other neighbors, like one guy, it's he's kind of mechanic, knows anything you could ever think of about old equipment and how to fix it and how to fix it right and how to fix it fast. So any question I have, it's like just talking over a few beers with him, like, oh yeah, I'll help you fix that, or yep, you bring it over this winter and we'll go over it. I'm like, awesome, like I'll pay you or trade you or anything, but like I'm not like a really good mechanic. I can do the little stuff, but and like my goal with the haying equipment, I'm asking around. It's like I want the right size tractor, not too big, not too small. The right size hay bine, not too big, not too small. A sickle mower, a rake, or and what kind of baler and how, and create this system. So essentially, and know how these machines work. So these old pieces of equipment that are just no computers, ultra reliable, built properly from anywhere from the 1950s to the late 70s type stuff, the good stuff that you can still get parts for. Or when I figure out what parts you need regularly, or what brakes, or what blades you need, or how to replace those blades, or what bolts you need, I'm going to start collecting that and really knowing my equipment. Just like a sniper, he has one gun and he knows everything about that gun. I want to know that with my little equipment. So like diesel, if it's so expensive or something, I can just have my equipment put away out of the sun, nice and clean, with spare parts. I know how it works. When it's time to go do the job, you fire it up, hook onto it, go do it, wash the machine, back it goes. And that's there for like multi generations, that piece of equipment. And I'm excited. This is all very, very exciting as I am moving forward here. So like I'm telling these people, like, I know you're reading all this survival food stuff, store rice, store, and yes, but I say store imported products that we can't do. So I like storing coffee for myself, just instant coffee, both decaf and regular coffee. And I like storing rice because I do like eating like rice as a filler in stir fries. Like I try not to eat too much carbs and stuff. We try to eat, fruit, vegetables, and meat. But when you have a stir fry, you do a little bit of rice, and it's nice to have in there. But back when I started, like people would store, ramen noodle packs, and those go rancid in a short period of time, and they're terrible for you. And a lot of these emergency food packs are just terrible. There's nothing in there. All it is rice. You might as well just store a bag of rice, and it's all chemicals or fake meat or something in there, or tofu, or barely anything to it. But store the imported products and get your butts in gear, and let's keep moving forward, and we're all going to be fine. We're like, if things go catastrophically bad, I'm probably going to lose weight. I could use a little bit more weight, right? Because then I'm forced to eat fruits and vegetables and eggs and meat and nothing else. So it's probably going to be the best thing that could ever happen to me. Like, oh, I'm getting really optimistic about stuff, right? And again, part of that is people are starting to wake up. My network is expanding. My local, hyper local community is expanding. So it's like, what is government? What is the World Economic Forum? What is global government? Like, yes, they impose stupid shit. Yes, they impose stupid taxes. Yes, they impose stupid laws. But you just live your life away from their stupidity as far as you can without breaking the law, essentially, right? And it's like, well, what if they come knocking door to door? I mean, at some point there'll be a line in the sand. It doesn't matter if government or another gang or whoever it is or another country invades. I mean, there's a line in the sand somewhere. And honestly, it's probably in general the same area. And I think that, you know, they keep pushing and pushing and seeing how much they can get away with, right? And I'm surprised how much people put up with all this shit. But honestly, um, but yeah, what does it really matter? Like when you leave the hive. Like I, I don't know. I don't know if people agree with me, but I call it a hive, like the city a hive and society a hive, because it is a hive mind. Like if you've ever watched some sci-fi thing where there's an alien thing that they're fighting, well, it's a hive mind, right? And they're talking, and it is. It's when people in economics, when they're talking about investing, they say the markets don't understand. And I'm like, well, what are the markets? Well, it's just like computer algorithms that people put together, and then general investors and even money managers. But it's a hive mind. They all think the same. Like price go up, price go down. Invest in this. Okay, invest in this. This. It's hive mind. There's no free thought in there. If you're a contrarian, that means you looks like you're dumb to the entire majority of the public until they switch and then to your sector, and then you're like miles ahead of them, right? Like as a speculator or whatever. But the market, what is the market? It's a hive. What is the city? It's a hive. What is the heart of a city center? That's the government building that produces nothing, where it's so bad that there's no grocery stores, there's no retailer stores, businesses go out of business. It costs too much for people to park, or they take away parking things to have bicycle lanes. So downtown in my city, it's like it's a no-go zone. That is not my hive. That is not my people. I do not go downtown, because that's the heart of the hive mind. You want nothing to do with that. And I get the feeling that everybody I talk to, because everybody I listen to, because it's hard pressed I get a bad comment. So it's kind of neat doing this subject matter that I'm talking about. It's never going to be popular, right? I should have a OnlyFans page for my feet, or shake my booty or something, or do an idiocracy football in the nuts video 12 times a day if I wanted the views and to make money off YouTube, or whatever. But the people that I'm reaching out to are the people that aren't part of the hive, and that's what I get the sense of. And the people around me in my immediate community, the Hutterites, the neighbors, the old guys, the hay guys, the other small homesteaders, they're all relatively on the same page and completely, utterly opposite of the hive mind. So the hive is obviously unsustainable and it's going to fail. So, but so optimistic for these normal people, the non-hive people, the people that haven't, their brains didn't get washed away or something, and they have their own free thoughts in their heads. So I am optimistic. We're going to be fine where I am. It doesn't even matter what happens. No, we're self-sufficient and getting more so by the day. We're producing more and more things that are better products, right? Like better eggs, bigger eggs, fresher eggs, like nice dark yolks, right? Better meat, fresher meat, better vegetables, fresher vegetables. Like, solar panels are on my list of things to do. Like, essentially, if the hive could provide me sustainable or reliable electricity that didn't go up with taxes and inflation at absolute exponential stupid rates, and that any taxes and things that you paid, they went into upgrading the infrastructure instead of like 50-year-old power poles and power outages and stuff all the time. Like I don't know if solar panels are the answer, because they're there to supplement during the day and on in sunny portions of the world, but as reliable, it doesn't. I don't know. Like you have to make a solar panel. It takes a lot of resources to make a solar panel. They only have a expected lifespan, and then they go to the landfill, or maybe they'll get recycled. But batteries, the same thing. You have to have all these batteries if you want to be off grid. But I'm thinking solar panels strictly because I want to get away from the hive, so it's probably where, even if it doesn't make financial sense, it actually might though. But it's anyways that I'm going to do that. But we have our own water. Our buildings are passive solar super insulated. We barely need any heat, right? We have even woodlot on the land. Like my concept of the closed homestead system. So you need a certain X amount of acres, and it's quite a bit. You have a certain amount of pasture for summer animals, and then a certain amount of hay land to feed the animals in the winter. And then you need the equipment to go produce the hay for the winter feed for the animals, right? And in just a closed system. And the winter cleaning out the barn when the animals manure in the barn, that's fertilizer for the orchards and the gardens and things. And oh yeah, like as time goes on, I'm getting more optimistic. So, and as time goes on, things seem to get faster and much worse. Like inflation gets more and more and more and more, and the stupidity more and more and more, and the rules more and more and more, the extra taxes and the extra fees and the extra stupidity there, and the extra licenses and registrations, and just poking at your freedoms, every single one of them. It's getting worse and worse and worse. At the same time, is because I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm getting more and more optimistic. Whew. Yeah. So there's a cool rant for you, but I'm telling you what I'm doing, and this is how I've been feeling today. Like, you have your down days and your up days, or your and everything, but super optimistic. So if you're, thinking of kind of doing what I'm doing or whatever, it's do it. We need more. The more of you, the more resilience it is. It's like you're almost unstoppable when you live close to nature, set it up, get away from the hive mind that's destroying the unintended consequences. We'll never know for sure, but of the stupidity of this system, how it keeps holding everybody back. The amount of inventions that were created or might have been created if it wasn't for extortion and stupidity of the hive. No, sorry, you're the wrong skin color, no grants or financing for you. Oh, sorry, you were unfortunately born with the wrong genitals. Oh, sorry, there's this, you have to get these 14 fees or licenses in order to do this. Oh no, you have to do this on your product. You can't do this. And the unintended consequences, we could have, not that I think it's a good idea to go to Mars, but we probably would have been on Mars and had some dome society there. The greenhouses like mine, there probably would have been, every other homestead might have one. That's our downtowns might have had, no taxation and at least a grocery store, but no, because the hive does it. It's like, oh, geez, I wonder why we don't have any businesses here. And all the businesses that left, well, there's these commercial buildings, so we're going to use taxpayer dollars to turn it into homeless shelters. So downtown is the government building with paid parking, and then the homeless problems, and you don't want to go downtown. That's where the crime is. That's where government workers are. That's where whoa, you need a permit to park your thing there. Or whoa, I saw your wheel go into that bicycle lane, and here's a ticket for $200 or whatever. And no, get the heck out of the hive. Go do your own thing. It's lovely. Meet your neighbors, speak with your neighbors. I bet you they're on the same page. Maybe probably not in the city, because that's the concentration of the voters. But when you move out of town, rurally or whatever, you're probably going to be surprised. Go talk to your neighbors, talk them confidently, introduce yourself, kind of inch your way into different subjects, and I bet you they're all on the same damn page of just not being part of the hive mind. You might be pleasantly surprised. But there's other things to be optimistic about, like for what I'm doing. So, like when you recognize like carbon tax and they don't want you to travel, like the hive doesn't want you to travel because it's bad for the environment, and they're restricting travel and everything. And meanwhile, you like anybody with a brain can see this coming, and then when you realize that there's no solution to it, well, yeah, I'm not going to travel, so I'm going to set up a life that's, I don't feel the need to travel from. So that the greenhouse, it's an ag building, and it produces us valuable food, and we love gardening. Now we can do it year round. In the middle of winter, we can go outside and better our lives, get some sun on our skin, and eat fresh food, and like water a garden, and be in there in the wintertime. Like, so it's producing value, which I love doing, and it's a nice place to be, which is awesome. So I could have moved to Belize or Costa Rica, but like this is just a cool way to do it. Like, there's nowhere to run, so you have to like pick where you're going to like make your stand or hunker down. So why, like, I don't spend much money on fuel, so the price of fuel doesn't affect me quite as much, right? You work from home, make a living from home, create a place that you don't feel the need to vacation from. Like, this is wonderful, great. Like, why would you want to, even if they let you leave the country or something, or let you travel, the amount of bull crap that the government and airlines, like just the horror stories, that doesn't sound fun to me. I don't know if that sounds fun to anyone, but why are you doing that? So, like, very optimistic for my life, like moving forward, like the way that the homesteading aspect, you kind of set it up. Like, I like being here. I don't want to go to the lake. I don't want to travel because I like it here. I got a lot of responsibilities and things, but I like everything about it. Another thing for investing, like when again the markets don't realize, because the market is the hive and the hive is stupid. So when like things you invest in, if you just Google what to invest in high inflation, it's like number one, gold, number two, commodities type of thing. Well, silver is, I value it as money as well. Like in all the different language, silver is money. But the hive doesn't know what gold and silver are, and because they don't value it, this whole value proposition thing. So when silver goes down, it's like, are you guys kidding me? We're in the worst inflation in the history of the world. We're essentially in a global thing. This is going to be unlike anybody's ever seen, and the best inflation hedges are going down because the market's stupid. What a fantastic gift. What an absolute gift for you to have the opportunity when they printed, I don't know what the number is, 25 or 40% of every dollar in the history of the United States they printed in 1 year recently, and gold and silver kind of down. Like, are you kidding me? Thank you, sir. May I have another? Do it again. Like, because when they figure it out, like, oh man, there's so much to be optimistic about. Like all the stupidity, like you have to kind of capitalize on the stupidity, kind of. Like there's ways to do it. It's but life is good. You know what? Like for all the stupidity, so you can't travel. They want to take more of your freedoms away, but it's you set yourself up, so it doesn't really matter what happens in the world. Like your life should get better. Like not just, well, if this happens, then it's going to be painful for me. It's like, no, if this happens, then my life barely changes. Or if it does change, like it probably even gets better. So keep pressing on. Everybody listening has the same rough general outlook on things as myself. Keep moving forward, and yeah, there's stuff in life to be really excited about. And yeah, it's going to be epically bad at the same time as it could be epically good. But you do have to do something, okay? You can't just like, oh, everything's going to be fine so I can go back and watch Netflix. No, it's not going to be fine if you just watch Netflix. Like, enjoy the work, enjoy working hard, enjoy building stuff, enjoy the process getting set up, and then you can be optimistic about that. But don't be optimistic and go back to, I'm going to go to the lake, take a break, watch the Netflix, sleep in tomorrow. No. So, yeah. Hopefully that's some good positive motivation for today for everyone. Thanks for listening. We will see you next time.